All right, everyone, we are back for part 2. That's right, part 2. You guys, I take forever answering questions, apparently. So this is part 2 of our Q&A videos, and I know I went from... apparently I did not fix my Dexcom, because it's right here, so... Anyway, we went from question 1 to 10 in the first video, and now this is going to be a question 11 to 20. And instead of sitting here and just yakking about nothing, you guys know the drill. You know what this is about. So I'm just going to start right away and answer the questions. So the one we left off on would be, and I get this one a lot, you guys. How old am I? And how old is my husband? So, the funny stories about that are, when I go somewhere with my oldest son, Parker, who you guys know is, my camera don't want to focus, he is 18 now, he turned 18 in June, excuse me, and when Parker and I go somewhere together, and it's just me and him, it's like... so awkward most of the time, because everyone is like, oh, do you, like, if we go out to eat, they're like, do you and your girlfriend want a booth? Do you want a table? Do you know how awkward that situation is? Not his girlfriend. I'm his mother. And I always tell Parker, I was like, you know what? It's not because I look young. I swear to God, I think it's just because you look old. Like, he does look older. He's always looked older. Because he could grow a beard, and he'd have, like, a big bushy beard, and he's, like, so much taller than me, and we go somewhere, and everyone literally always thinks that I am his girlfriend. So, awkward AF. Like, 100%. So, everyone tells me that they don't believe, and I don't know if it's just because people are being nice, or just being butt kisses, I don't know. But everyone tells me that I don't look my age. And I think it's more so that I don't act my age, possibly. But, long story short, I can never make long story short. That's just me. I'm sorry. I am 30... How old am I? I'm 36 years old. January 10th is my birthday. I was born in 82. That makes me... oh my gosh. So I'm just a couple months away from being 37. And Rob was born in February of 81. So he is 37 and he will be 38. So that's... we're old. We're getting old. Whatever. You're only as old as you feel. And if that statement is true, then I should be like 93. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. Number 12, what does Rob do for work? I'm pretty sure I've said it before, but, I mean, a lot of you might not necessarily know. Rob works for a cheese factory, and he is the head cook of the whole entire factory. And they make all kinds of different cheese. Like, hello, Wisconsin, you know, there ain't no shortage for cheese, so... he's been doing that, I think, for over 11 or 12 years now. He's worked there, I believe. So, that's what he does. Number 13. This is actually a good question. Number 13 is, what is your stance on medical marijuana? So... I don't even know how to get into this one, but it is a good question, and I don't mind at all answering it, hence why I am talking about it. In my younger years, I had a very big issue with people, using drugs in general. Even weed at the time. In the relationship that I was in, I felt like I was completely chosen last over drugs in general. Not just weed, just drugs in general. And it was a horrible feeling. So I had a huge hatred towards all drugs. And then after I got out of this very horrible relationship, I found a sense of freedom, and I can freely admit that I tried smoking weed. I hadn't for, I don't know how old I was by the time that I actually even tried it. I had a lot of friends that smoked weed, and that doesn't bother me. To each their own. Like, seriously, it doesn't bother me what you do. But personally, I couldn't because of issues with my past. In the medical marijuana sense, I honestly believe if it helps you, go for it. I currently am in the process of deciding if I want to try CBD oil. I know that's completely different. But because of my diabetes and the insane nerve damage that has been done in my feet, I have really no feeling in my feet. But boy, let me tell you, I have feeling in my feet when it comes to the nerve pain and neuropathy, and I don't think I've ever experienced this coming from a mother who has given birth naturally to her children without even taking a Tylenol. I don't know if I've ever experienced this kind of pain before in my life, and it's gotten worse and worse over the years, and I'm on like some of the strongest medicine you can be for it, and it just doesn't even touch the pain. Which also causes me a lot of issues when I don't sleep at night. So I am all for medical marijuana. If it helps you, I say do it. I have no problem with it. I don't look at marijuana the way that I used to. I mean, I've grown up a lot. Excuse me. I've grown up a lot since then, and I actually know a bunch of people who suffer from a lot of different diseases, and they swear by it. So I have not personally tried it for my own medical issues because in the state I live in, it's not legal. But I am in the mindset at this point where I'm ready to even try like the CBD oil. So I mean, that's what I got to say about that. Number 14, my tattoos. What are the meaning behind them or some of them, and do you have any piercings? So I have this question a lot because quite obviously I have a lot of tattoos all over the place, and I literally think I quit counting around like 20 something, and then I just quit counting tattoos because then it wasn't like this was a tattoo and this was a tattoo and this was a tattoo and this was a tattoo. It just kind of became one big sleeve or whatever. This arm, as you can see up here, oh my gosh, my arms look so chubby. Don't mind the chub. This arm has nothing on it besides this right here, and well, that's it on this arm, and Avery's name. So I have so many tattoos, you guys, I don't even know how to show you them all. I can talk about some of them, and then maybe in a different video show you them more. The very first tattoo I got, though, believe it or not, yours truly, right here, back in the days of the good old tramp stamps. Yes, I said it, tramp stamps. I was bound and determined that I was getting this really cool design across my lower back, and I wanted it, and that was my very first tattoo, and it was big. It was big for my first tattoo, and I was hooked and addicted the second the needle touched me. That just sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Some people like pain and don't even consider it painful. I consider it relaxing. I know that just sounds so weird to so many people, but it's the truth. It's just the truth. So, that was my first tattoo I got. The second tattoo I got, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I remember which one came second, third, fourth, fifth, and up to whatever. But I have a tattoo on the top of my foot that is just some random design. I have a Chinese character on one ankle that stands for friendship. I have a Chinese character on the other ankle that stands for courage. I have a Chinese character in the mitts down here, which over my heart, which stands for family. I obviously have my 3 big roses right here. The big one in the middle is for my son Parker. There's a rose over here for Avery and or Jasmine. I don't have a specific rose dedicated to him, but 3 big roses across my chest because those are my babies. I have Avery's name on this wrist. I don't know how to show you guys this decently. That's why I said I'll have to make a better video just in regards to this. I have Parker's name on this wrist, and I have Jane's name across my arm. I have a song title that's one of my favorite songs on my leg with a design that says Into the Mystic. I have a feather, a peacock feather all the way up my left leg. I have, you guys, I have so many, it's just insane. I have a dragon on my right thigh. I have, and they all symbolize different things. I don't want to, let's just put it this way. I have a lot of tattoos. A lot of them do symbolize something specific, but we'll probably have to jump into those more in a different video because we just don't got the time. And some of them I can't show you. Some of them I don't think you want to see. And I have to move. My leg is falling asleep. Piercings. I pierced my nose right here. It's still there. I can still wear an earring or nose ring in it. And I did it as a dare. Not even a dare. It was more my cousin, my oldest cousin, and my aunt were sitting at the table. And I was in 8th grade, and they were like, I was like, should I pierce my nose? And they were like, you would not pierce your own nose. And I was like, you want to bet? You want to bet me? Don't bet me. I'm a betting girl. And they were like, you're not going to do it. So I took an earring that was like a piercing earring, and I walked into the bathroom, and you guys, legit, I took the end of a pencil with the eraser, and I put it right into my nose where the pencil was, and I just shoved it right through until it hit the eraser, and then pulled it out, popped it back in, and I was like, I walked out, and they were like, no, you didn't. And I was like, up in their face, being like, look, it comes out the inside. I did it. And ever since then, I had my nose pierced, and I did it myself, just one day out of the blue. The next piercing I ever got was, well, I shouldn't say that. I have my ears pierced in a couple different places, all the way up, and then cartilage piercings up in the top. And then this one, you guys know that there really wasn't much room because I just had my little ear right here. So I have some up in the top of the cartilage over here on this one though as well. And then after I did my nose, I ended up getting my tongue pierced, and I've had that pierced since I was probably 18, and I'm 36 now, almost 37. So I got my tongue pierced, and then I did have, you guys can probably see the scar right here. I had my eyebrow pierced, and you know what? I wasn't even going to say this, but why not? Random factoids about Amanda, probably TMI right here, but the reason you see the scar right here is because let's just put it this way. My hoop that I had in my eyebrow, it got caught on a zipper and it got ripped out. And that's all I'm going to say. That is all I'm going to say about that. So I'm sure you guys can use your imaginations there, but I did have my eyebrow pierced. It did get ripped out. No, it wasn't pleasant. I digress. All right. And I think that was it. I had my nose, my tongue, my eyebrow, and my ears, and that's it for piercings. So now you know. And number 15, why do I journal and why do I use my Fibonacci's? I am a creature of, I don't want to say habit, even though I am a creature of habit. I swear to, like, I collect memories. It is something I have done since I was old enough to write words. I have journals back from when I was 6, 7 years old. And I kept journaling throughout the course of my life till this specific day. My journaling styles obviously changed because I got introduced to a Fibonacci style journaling, and that is where you can draw, you can save memories, you can add pictures, you can draw, you can doodle, you can write quotes, you can save receipts from your day. Even if it was like a receipt from Subway, you can tuck that in there. It's all about ephemera and memories, and I'm going to hurt that stupid Dexcom beeper. Alarm, I should say. And memories to me, you guys, are so precious. I have my kids on videotape from the day they were born. I have tape upon VHS upon data disc upon, you guys, I have so many collections of memories, be it on video or through pictures or digital pictures or printed pictures or journaling, and those are important to me. This is what your life is about. This is collecting those memories, and I want those memories, I want them left for my children. So when I'm not here and they're missing their mama, they can grab one of those books, they can grab one of those picture albums, they can grab one of my journals and say, here's my mom. Here's my mom's memories. On this day, this is what my mom did. This is what I did with my mom. So it's really a sentimental thing for me, where some people collect stamps. Some people I collect memories. And I like them. And they're my treasures. And I want them one day to be my children's treasures. And if they're not, I mean, eventually they'll probably end up in a dumpster somewhere, but you know what? They're my memories. They're my gift to myself, to my children, maybe to my children's children. So that's my answer for that. Number 16, what kind of jobs have you had? What kind of jobs do you have now? What jobs did you like the most? When I was in school, I always knew that I wanted to be a nurse. So even in high school, I took a CNA class that I passed. And while I was pregnant with Parker my senior year, I would get up and I would go to school from 8 o'clock in the morning until noon because I already had so many credits, and I would be able to leave for work release, and then I would go to the nursing home, and I worked at the nursing home as a certified nursing assistant there. And I worked there all the way up until I gave birth to Parker. So I did that. I babysat even before that, obviously, as a job. I worked at a gas station, and basically the one that I would call my real first adult job would be working at the nursing home. I also worked for a company called Integrated Images, and I worked at the nursing home and at Integrated Images, all the while that I also was in school my senior year. So I would go to school from 8 till noon, leave there, go home and change, and go to my nursing assistant job. And if I wasn't working there, I would be going to my other job and working there. And that was like doing a lot of file keeping and going through files and different things, like getting them ready for different court proceedings and just different things like that. So those were my first two real jobs. And then I gave birth to Parker, and then I went back to nursing. When I graduated, my intent was to go to nursing school. And instead, 2 weeks after I graduated, I gave birth to Parker. So that kind of put a damper on the whole idea of nursing school for me. And that period of time in my life is a very rough time that I don't like to talk about. Besides the fact of having my baby. He changed my whole entire world. I don't know how we got into this when I'm supposed to be talking about jobs. So that's another story for another time. I loved being a CNA because I got to take care of so many people. My favorite unit that they put me on all the time was the dementia unit. It was called Caring Hearts because I have this way And I don't even care if it sounds conceited. I have a way with older people, and I just understood them. I understood their frustration, and when you're dealing with people with Alzheimer's, it is a very hard and trying job, and I loved it. I don't even care. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But it got very hard for me when I got to the point where I started losing some of the members. I remember coming into work one day, and they, like, on my breaks, I would go down to a different unit, and there was a man there that I would, on my breaks, go and play gin with, gin rummy, or I would play checkers with him, and I would just stop in and check on him on my breaks or after work, and, you know, I don't know what it was about him, but I love this guy. And one night I had gone into work, and they're like, we really need you to help on a different wing tonight, and we have bad news, but you have to go into said room and take care of this body and prepare it before the family comes. And I was like, what room did you say? And they told me that, I don't want to bring up any names or anything, but that he had suffered a major heart attack and stroke and passed away, and I had to clean the body and get him ready before his family came. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was postpartum depression after I had Parker, because I really never even suffered from it, but it was so hard to go back to work and see these people that I took care of, and I looked at each of the residents that I would take care of as my grandma or my grandpa, and I did whatever I could to make them comfortable and safe and feel loved, and it just started really eating away at me after seeing so many of them pass away, and I knew that I needed to change my job. So after being a CNA, I did some other jobs, and I just, you know, I worked at Walmart. I was a Walmart employee for a very long time. I was a CSM. I helped in the front end of the store. I was customer service management. And then, I don't know, I've just had a lot of different jobs, but then once I was more so with Rob, he was basically the one that had the job, and I would work from home. I would babysit constantly from home, which I still do, and currently I'm working for a trucking company where I call and broker deals and find different loads from point A to point B and set up all of that as far as scheduling and miles and calling and talking to carriers and just different things like that. So that's my job now. Those were my jobs before. The most rewarding job was definitely being the CNA. I even went back to do that job a couple different times, and it was just too hard. So that was number 16. Number 17, my favorite actor. My favorite actor of all time probably has to be Denzel Washington and Clint Eastwood because, well, number one, they're both fine. They're both amazingly handsome. And I love, love, love their personalities. I love how they can portray different characters, and that's my answer. Number 18, am I a mama's girl or a daddy's girl? This is a loaded question for me because I am a mama's girl. I always will be a mama's girl, and that's because my mama has been there 24/7 since day one. I do, however, I didn't have my dad involved in my life. I mean, he was in my life. I know my dad, but he moved away. We didn't even see him often. He would come home on weekends when my mom and him were together. And then after their divorce, eventually he moved to Green Bay, which was farther away from us. And then after that, he moved to Texas. So I never really had that father-daughter relationship. I do know that I would have been a daddy's girl. Because I crave that kind of relationship, I guess. I see Jazzy, and I don't mean like one versus the other, like I would have been a daddy's girl, not a mommy's girl, because I'm forever a mama's girl. But if I had the opportunity to be, I know I would have been a daddy's girl. So I guess that's just going to be my answer for that. Number 19, I had to put this one in here because it was simply as unicorns or mermaids. Now, that is a hard one to choose, but I honestly think that my choice would be unicorns. I love unicorns and mermaids, but I'm pretty sure I'd have to go with unicorn. Number 20, my favorite song of all time, and do I even have one? I do have one. I have a 1,000. The most important song to me that I would consider one of my favorites is, well, you guys are like really all up in my, okay. So my favorite all-time song I would have to go with, I actually have it tattooed on me. It is Into the Mystic by Van Morrison. I have this insane connection to Van Morrison. I don't know what it is. It's probably because Van is the man. And I love his music. I just can get lost in his music. And the song Into the Mystic is, this is horrible lighting. I apologize. It's just one of my favorite songs. So now that this is another almost 25, 26 minute video, or probably longer, I hope that was decent. I hope that it answered some of the questions that you guys asked. If you ever have more, don't be afraid to email me, put them in my Instagram, put them wherever you want that I will find them, and I will try to answer them again. Thank you guys so much for watching, for being amazing, for leaving the questions, just for being you. Thank you guys for being you. I love you all, and I don't even have enough words to tell you guys how amazing you are, because you're all amazing. So, that is all of my questions, and I will see you guys again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Much love to my randoms. Bye, guys.